I'm Jenna.
Hello, I'm Gloria.
We are Worthy Wellness.
Because we are worth it.
Our purpose is to introduce women entrepreneurs, products, and services, while proceeds help women in need for holistic care and therapy services.
Welcome, ladies. Okay, so today, welcome to our Worthy Wellness podcast for 2023, Season 2, Episode 1. My name is Gloria, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Angelica. Angelica is a entrepreneur, a business owner, a volunteer, and she is just a lovely person. Angelica, how are you today?
Hello, Gloria. Doing well. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So I want to tell everybody that this is our first episode for season 1, and it's a pleasure to have Angelica here with us. Angelica, can you tell us a little bit about yourself today?
Sure, yes. Hi, my name is Angelica. I am 39 years old. I am a wife, a mom, an immigrant, an entrepreneur, a UCLA alumni, and a cancer survivor.
Wow. I just got the chills on that. That's quite a list of accomplishments. I love it. And how long have you been married?
I've been married for 5 years now.
Nice. And you have children?
I do. I do have a 22-year-old from my previous marriage.
Nice. All right. So you've already been through the little years, the teenage years.
Yes, we have.
I always kind of like to throw that in there because, oh man, those teenage years are something else. And tell us a little bit about what you like to do for fun.
I love hiking. Hiking is one of my passions, actually. I love to go out there in the wild and nature, explore everything. And I also love to spend time with my family and friends.
Oh, that's
It's
great.
one of the things that I love the most.
Oh, I love that. I do. I like nature. As you can see, my backyard. We're here at my house today, and we're kind of just enjoying the wetness of the backyard and all my trees and my fruit trees. So I appreciate that. So I understand that. I get it a lot. Yeah.
Lovely, by the way.
Thank you. And Angela, tell us a little bit about your story now, because just in the few moments that I spoke with you prior to today, you really touched my heart and your story. So I really want our listeners to hear a little bit about you, but also your story, because I say everyone has a story.
Yes, we do. Well, a little bit of me. I was born in Mexico City. I was smuggled into the United States when I was 6, 7 years old, I think. I was very little, so I didn't know where I was going, and it was all in search of the American dream. Growing up here was a bit challenging because at that time we didn't have enough bilingual classes. And I remember struggling a lot because I couldn't understand. But luckily, I met a teacher that helped me get through those tough times. And I learned how to be resilient and lead by example for my younger brothers and sisters. And I knew what it meant to have a strong work ethic and never use my current circumstances as a barrier to obtain a bright future.
I love that. As a daughter of immigrants that came over here, I understand that, and I understand that. Excuse me. My father instilled in us also that strong work ethic, and that's what I instilled in all 6 of us and in my children. So I admire that in you. So once you started going to school here, how hard was that for you?
It was very hard. I remember I was very shy. I didn't have enough friends because it was just, even though it was an Anna school district, we didn't have enough bilingual personnel to help you and assist you. We didn't have that. Well, we now have ESL.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, we didn't have that. You had a person following you through your classes and kind of just them translating to you.
Okay.
And so it was very difficult for me to understand and learn at the same time. I was falling behind. But the teacher that they paired me with, I clearly remember how she just said, "You're going to stay with me and I'm going to teach you." And so it was a one on one class that I had with her every day, and she would teach me to speak English.
Wow.
Mhm.
See, that is amazing. I love
Yes.
that bit of your story that someone just saw you and said, "We're going to do this, and I'm going to do it
Yes.
with you."
And I'm very thankful because I see now they have ESL classes and all these other programs that helps people or students, let's say, get familiar with the language. But it's not like having a one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to me, it was such a blessing.
That is a big blessing. I love that. I really do love that story. And so once you're going through elementary school and you're learning the language and really getting to understand it, do you see yourself changing, right?
I did. I did. Unfortunately, in my case, it was it was not for the better.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Is
Yeah.
that something that you'd like to go into a little bit about that?
Sure. I haven't really shared this story much. As I stated earlier, I am a cancer survivor, but I'm also a abused child.
Okay.
I am. Um, my family, everyone knows, because there was courts, just all this paperwork and immigration stuff that we
Mm-hmm.
have to get through. But part of my story and part of who I am today
Mm-hmm.
is because of what I went through in my early childhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that builds from all that trauma and challenge are so many lessons. And from that lesson, you gain wisdom. You may not gain it as a child, but eventually you will because you start coming out of it.
Yes, yes, with the help a lot of therapy, I did overcome that because as a child coming to the States, meeting back in the days, your parents will leave you back with their parents, and then later they will bring you come to with them.
Hmm.
And when my mom brought us back with her, she already had a husband.
Okay.
We were never told about him. We came here like not knowing and anything. And the truth is that a lot of times that happens.
Hmm.
And I remember coming here and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna see my mom for the first time in years. But you forget who your mom is. You lose the bond as a child. Imagine I was 5, 6 years old when she left me. And when I came back, it was just kind of like, who is this person?
Hmm.
And I'm speaking of my mom.
Hmm.
So we have to kind of restart our relationship. And not only that, I had to start a relationship with an individual I've never met before.
Hmm.
And as time passed by, you're a kid, you don't know, okay, yeah, good. And I didn't have a dad. Growing up, I didn't have a dad. So seeing him was just kind of like, okay, well, at least he can be my dad. Because as a kid, and you don't have a kid, you don't have a dad, um, and you see other people with kid with the parents and stuff, and you imagine having that.
Hmm.
So to me, it was just kind of like, yes, I have a dad. Fortunately, it was a very sad story. A couple years we lived there. My mom started working nights, and he pretty much began to abuse sexually, physically, verbally, and it was a nightmare. for me and my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I have a brother who's his son who's has a lot of mental problems because of what we lived with him.
Right.
And my sister, my brother, they all struggle with trust. We all struggle with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
We struggle with a lot of issues. But that is one of the reasons why I feel that I am a strong person because I overcame that really bad part of my life.
Mm-hmm. And that is something that is going to resonate with a lot of people, a lot of listeners, because more than we'd like to admit it, that's a very big part of people's story, unfortunately. And, you know, I know people that same circumstance, someone's brought you into their home. You don't know them. You think you do. And unfortunately, something like that happens. And I can say sitting here with you, you are a strong woman and you have overcome it, but I know it's taken a lot of work.
Yes, it did. It did. I had to do a lot of work, a lot of mental and self awareness. I couldn't trust people. I couldn't trust anybody. I became a young mother.
Mhm.
I was a teen mom, and I was very afraid that someone would do that to my own kid. I was very overprotective, and it's just I struggled through my teenager years dealing with that trauma
Mhm.
until finally I seeked help. Um, I met someone that helped me understand what therapy was because as Hispanics, Mexican,
Yes.
my family don't believe in therapy.
Hmm.
My family believes that, oh, something happened to you, get over it.
Hmm.
But we don't really get over it.
Right.
And then what happens in the future, all of that trauma comes out when you're older.
Hmm.
And it ruins relationships and ruins families.
Hmm.
And this individual helped me and guided me through therapy and got me the proper help I needed to get through that.
See, and I love that because culturally, I will say it, that's a very big stigma on us Hispanics and the Hispanic community. I'm going to just call it out that it is a big taboo that, no, 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 estás bien. You're good.
Yeah.
Just, look the other way. It's good.
Mhm.
And you're just like, no, it's not good.
No.
And we have to heal. So I applaud you for the fact that you have the wherewithal and the insight to say to yourself, I need to heal. I need to get better for yourself
Yes, and my daughter.
and your daughter. Hmm.
I became a single mom and I knew I had to do something. I can't just, you know, continue the cycle.
Hmm.
So I look forward to giving her a better life, better than what I had. Um, and as time passed by, things started lining up. I started healing, I started feeling better. I learned that it wasn't my fault. I
Hmm.
learned that it wasn't my siblings' fault. I learned that it wasn't my mother's fault either.
Hmm.
And I learned to forgive him because I didn't want to continue suffering, carrying the burden and just hate.
Hmm.
And I knew it was eating me alive.
Hmm.
And I let go of that. And it was just such a wonderful thing that happened to me that I was able to see different. I was able to sit with someone and talk about my situation without crying, without just having this anger. It
Right.
was very relieving.
Yeah. Again, forgiveness is a very big thing, and doing healing on my own person, having to forgive myself and having to forgive the situation or maybe that person, that's a very, very big step that we need to take to heal within ourselves. Because it's like someone said to me one day, you keep taking this poison effect, expecting it to affect the other person, and it's not even touching them.
No,
They don't even know you're taking poison.
you're poisoning yourself.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I applaud you. I applaud you because this is what this is all about is healing. Healing
Yes.
within to have a better life, to feel that weight lifted off your shoulder and that disease that you were possibly creating within yourself with that anger and shame and frustration and all fear. And again, mother to mother, I applaud you because you have a
Mhm.
daughter. That's a
Yes.
very big one. You have a daughter, and as a mom of daughters, granddaughter, I'm telling you, it's very big, and you should be very proud of yourself because you
Mhm.
healed yourself not only for yourself, but for your daughter. And that's really big.
Yes. Yes. She was my motivation. I had nobody. She was my only person, the only human that I created that was with me that she would not judge. And I knew I had to do better for me and for her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Goodness. No, time passed by, I healed. Everything was going great. I enrolled to college, I went to school, I wanted to get a better education. I wanted to provide her a life that I didn't have.
mm-hmm.
I wanted her not to struggle as much as I had been struggling. And there was times we didn't have food, and there was times that we didn't have money for rent. And me and her lived in, we call it roach houses. We used to rent rooms,
Mm-hmm.
and going to school and getting a degree is what helped me. I transferred to Cal State Fullerton and earned my bachelor's degree in accounting and graduated in 2011. And it was just that was the pivot of my life.
Wow.
I was just excited. I had just been offered a better job, better position, better pay. I knew I didn't have to be struggling anymore. And I was just really living my life. I was just enjoying traveling with my kids, small places, and until one day I get I get a call. Well, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer of dreams. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why. I had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
I dreamed something holding my right breast. I didn't know what it was. And then I started having symptoms and finally was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness
Mhm.
me.
I was diagnosed on my daughter's birthday.
Oh my. How old were
And
you?
I was 27, going to be 28.
Wow.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, Angelica.
Mhm.
Wow.
It was it was very heartbreaking because I didn't know what was breast cancer, first of all.
Right?
I didn't know what to do. I I was sad. I was given 6 to 10 months to live
Oh my goodness me.
because it was spreading,
Mm-hmm.
and I had been trying to get a mammogram for months, but because of my age, the state wouldn't allow it.
What?
Yes, I didn't have medical insurance at that time, so all I was trying to get was Medi-Cal.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that, the state has to pre-approve. And because you're young, you're not the age of 40, and you don't have a trace of cancer in your family, the state would not approve it. So for many months, I struggled, 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 and you could see all the signs something was not right.
Right?
And finally, I had to go and get an ultrasound on my own and pay for it, and then um, the doctor said, um, "You need to come back," and took me to another hospital and said, "You need a biopsy. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And then, sure thing. Just all I remember sitting in that table was 6 to 10 months to live.
Oh my goodness.
We need
Okay.
to start treatment immediately. And I remember nothing else. Nothing else because just my world just became like a black hole.
Well, of course, yeah. You're sitting there getting this news and you're wondering everything, I'm sure. Your daughter first and foremost.
Yes, I wonder. My kid was a teenager. She was barely going to be 10, I believe. She wasn't really at that age. She didn't understand what's going on.
Right, right.
And just when I thought I had a little bit of freedom of my childhood trauma, this comes along, and I just kind of like, wow, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
Who whose fault is it? That was my very first thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whose fault is it?
Mm-hmm.
And anger came in, and everything I had worked before,
Mm-hmm.
it just came back. And I was mad. I was mad at God. I was always upset. And what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
What did I do to deserve this? And I was very hopeless. Very hopeless.
Right? I mean, how could you not? You're sitting there, you're like you said, all the work that I've done, I've worked so hard. I'm on the right track. I'm doing well with my daughter and I, and then boom, you get hit with this. Of course, you would feel that. And so, what was the next step? What happened after that?
Well, I was scheduled for 7 rounds of chemotherapy. We follow with radiation, and everything seemed promising. Everything seemed like everything's going well. Your vitals are going good, and everything is good. Your body is responding very good for the treatment, so um, don't worry about it. Um, then a slight cold just came out of nowhere
Mm-hmm.
and took me to the hospital.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And then from then on, my body just gave up.
Mm.
I had to go back to treatment, and I was very low in spirits at this time in my life. It was very difficult, and I wanted to stay very strong at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I still wanted to be optimistic. I still wanted to remember everything I learned when I was dealing with my childhood trauma. I wanted to just stay that positive. I wanted just to say this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
But then my hair started falling, my skin started changing. My my life was just suddenly changed.
Changing.
And I remember looking into my daughter's eyes one day because my daughter went from being a teenager to being a caregiver.
Oh
She went
my.
from being a daughter to be a caregiver of her dying mother at that moment. And I remember looking into her eyes and I saw the fear. And I couldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. It was just very hard. And I just had given up.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot for you to take on, a single mom with a little girl who's now become your caregiver.
Yes.
And you had to have been thinking, wait a minute, the roles should be the opposite, the other way around.
Yes. And my biggest fear was who's going to care for her.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't count on her father to be there for her. My mom was struggling with her younger son, having issues with the trauma that we went through. So I didn't know what was going to happen to my daughter. I was very scared. And one day I went to chemo. It was one of those days that I just didn't even want to go anymore because I knew that I had no hope. And I remember walking to the hospital, and I bumped into this individual, and he prayed for me out of nowhere. He prayed for me. And I grew up a Catholic, okay? I grew up Catholic, but I never practiced that. I never practiced God. I never even thought of praying. And he prayed for me, and I was just like, why is this stranger praying for me? And I felt like some sort of peace. I went, got my treatment, and then the following day, same individual was there. But this time, I was more receptive to it. I said, okay, please teach me. Teach me to pray. He was a pastor.
Oh.
He was a pastor. He prayed with me. He invited me to come over to pray with him. I brought my daughter with me that day, and he showed me what faith was.
Oh my gosh.
We're talking about a 30-year-old who I wanted just to go hang out with my friends and enjoy life and party and do all this. And now I'm sitting in this room learning how to pray. He introduced me to Christ.
I love that. I call that divine timing. I call that absolutely divine timing.
Yes.
I love that story.
And funny thing is that I never even knew it was Christ or that there was other type of ways to pray. And when I say other type of ways to pray, you don't have to go to church. You don't have to go and devote yourself. Like I remember seeing my grandmother do it. He said, anywhere you are, pray. You could be in your car, you could be on the street, you could be anywhere. If you see someone, pray for that individual. You don't know what they're going through. And I remember those words, and it was just, okay, let's try it. What do I have to lose, right? Well, I fought that battle for 2 years.
Wow. 2 years.
And honestly, those 2 years taught me so much. More than the 2 decades I had lived through.
Wow. So I want to touch in on that because I'm a very big believer in divine timing. A big believer in that. I too am very spiritual. I tell people that, my God is with me 24 hours a day, not just on a particular day during the week. That's just for me, though. That's what resonates for me. But I love that the lessons you learned in those 2 years changed you.
It did. Because even though I thought that I had healed my childhood trauma, I didn't. I needed more help than I thought that I would. And I found it in Christ.
I love that.
And to me, I feel like I'm not here today just because, I got healed. No, I have a purpose, and I'm yet to find the purpose. God has me here because 10 years later, I'm sitting here in this room with this lovely soul telling my story. And I don't know. I still don't know why I'm here. And every day I ask myself, why was I given an opportunity in others' life? Right? But then I always say, there's a purpose. God has me here for a purpose, and I'm yet to find a purpose. And whether it is for me to teach others of my struggles and help them go through their struggles, or whether it is for me to help someone with a hand or whatever they need, I think that's my purpose in life, and that's why I'm here.
Well, thank you for the compliment. But I'm going to tell you that your purpose is whatever you want it to be. And, sitting here with you, meeting you today face to face for the first time, as soon as, just to let the listeners know, when she walked into my home, I felt an angel walking in. I'm a big person with angels. I love my angels, my spirit guides. But you could feel it in her hug. You could feel it in her spirit. You can see it in her eyes. Um, Angelica's, well, it's in her name, isn't it? Angelica.
Oh my goodness.
There's our aha moment for today. It's in her name. It's in her name. She is an angel to so many because from all of your lessons, all of the wisdom and strength that you've gained, I want to talk about your purpose that you've succeeded so far in her volunteerism, what she's done to help so many. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's just a little that I've heard, it's amazing.
Yes. I love to help.
Okay, Angelica, so let's talk about your purpose that you have, because after talking to you, I know that you volunteer and you're a big person with a great heart that helps people a lot. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yes. I do a lot of volunteer work, church, my community, at school, um, and just in general. I help out whoever's in need. I volunteer work. I will. I try to get my coworkers also to do some sort of volunteer for the holidays, or just if they know like someone that's struggling, they would let me know. Hey, I know someone that needs help. One of the things that I do is, for instance, in Thanksgiving,
Mhm.
I let my coworkers know, and that to let me know if there's a family, a single mom that needs money or food, um, and they do that for me. They'll search and they let me know, hey Angie, I got this person who is a single mom. My sister lives by her, or certain things, and then I take the full meal for Thanksgiving.
Wow, that's great.
Hmm.
That's really good.
I do that for at least 5 families,
On your
and
own.
on my own, and then Christmas. What I do is the second weekend of December, I get a Christmas tree
Hmm.
and decorations and toys and
Hmm.
take them to whoever needs them.
See,
Mhm.
again, in your name,
Yes,
and it's in your name, Angel Angelica.
I've been blessed being able to provide to people who needs the help.
Hmm.
Um, Again, I feel like my purpose is that,
Hmm.
helping others, because I feel like that's the only way I can repay for all the help that I got going through cancer,
Hmm.
because a lot of people helped me, strangers I never seen before. I I got so much help financially, and just I got poor with gifts. People would bring me blankets, letters,
Wow.
and kind of just I was overwhelmed with gifts, and I
Hmm.
did not know who these people were.
Hmm.
How do they know I'm sick? How do they know I need stuff? Because I was a single mom,
Hmm.
and I didn't have the funds for myself. I moved into my mom's house so then I can be able to not pay rent. And so now I do that. I help out women in general that need help, families. I help at church. I'm the first one to always say, when someone says, we need a volunteer, I'm there. Um, and it's just a way to help me be okay with what I went through.
Hmm.
And sometimes seeing those kids' faces live up when you give them a toy, it's just that's the biggest reward I could ever get back.
Right. And I can see that in your face right now. Her face is lit up for those of you that are listening because she is serving her purpose. I'm a big believer that everything is in God's divine timing. And when people are brought onto your journey, um, especially when you're going through something, a tough trial, a tough journey, a tough chapter in your life, God will put people in your life to help you, to listen. Anything from I'm going to pray for you to here's a blanket. I
Yes.
made you a casserole. Can I help you, with groceries? Do you need
Mhm.
help with your little girl? Does she need school clothes?
Yes.
Everything and anything, because that's all divine timing. And, you have to understand that and see it from that perspective, and the beauty that you see it and you give back now means so much, because it
Yes.
does.
It's very helpful to be able to provide, to help others in need, because we live in a time where like we think, oh, everyone has it all, but we forget that there's other families out there that they don't. They're still struggling. That there's single moms, there's single dads. I
Hmm.
know a handful of single dads that are struggling with 5 kids, 3 kids, and I come in and help them. And sometimes it could be just by, hey, let me help you clean your kitchen, or let
Hmm.
me take the kids to go get ice cream, or come into the house with them with stuff that they need, because I do ask other people to help me when it comes to, hey, you have clothes that you don't need, anything that you don't, you want to dispose that you think it's good, don't take it to the Salvation Army, give it to me.
Hmm.
I'll find a family, I'll find
Hmm.
someone that's going to use it, and I come in with stuff and they love it. And such a reward coming home and seeing that. And to me, I think that it's a blessing to be able to have the opportunity to do something for someone.
I love that. I really do. I love the fact that you are now becoming someone's divine timing, someone's blessing. Again, whether it's going in and here, let me just take the kids for an ice cream.
Hmm.
Let me, wash your dishes for you, because that person may be exhausted and overwhelmed. It doesn't take a lot, it just takes a little bit. And I think that's amazing. And I know that from all your trials and everything that you've gone through, you're also a businesswoman.
I am. I am. I'm a freelance bookkeeper. I do bookkeeping for small businesses. That's one of the majors I had in school, and it's I'm busy.
Mhm.
I'm very busy. Coming tax season is always one of the busiest times for me, but I always find time for help others, and I think that that's the reward I get.
Mhm.
Staying busy and be able to provide for others. So I do provide um, full charge bookkeeping services. Hmm.
Wow, that's great. And that's amazing. So, from coming here as a child, going through all your trials, chapter after chapter, learning, gaining wisdom. Now you're teaching people through your wisdom, guiding them, and now you're an entrepreneur. You're a CEO
Yes.
of your own business. I mean, that is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. If you had something to say as encouragement to women out there that are listening to you, what would you say to them?
Um, Struggles don't define us. They form us to be the best version of ourselves.
Oh, I just got chills on that. I
Mhm.
love that.
Yes, everything that we go through is it's not the end of the world for us. It's for a reason.
Hmm.
Everything happens for a reason, and we
Hmm.
have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that no matter what, we're not alone, and we're gonna get through whatever situation it is. And some way, somehow, you're gonna be a beautiful butterfly, like they say.
Hmm.
You could be struggling, and but one day you're gonna look back and sit and say, "Wow, how did I get through that?" You don't even know how.
I know. Isn't that the truth?
Hmm.
I think as women, because we have to deal with so much. But for myself, I can honestly say, and I did say that a couple of weeks ago, I look back at, what I've gone through, and I looked at myself in the mirror, even with my glasses on, so I could see, and I thought, how did I do that?
Yes.
Yeah. And you've got to be saying the same thing.
Every day I look at myself in the mirror, and of course I'm older. I'm 39, I'm pushing 40 now, and I I always complain, oh my God, I'm having the gray hair. Or, oh gosh, I have a wrinkle. You know what? I stopped worrying about it. I said, let him come out. Let him show. Why? Because it's telling me I'm alive.
Yeah, and you've earned it.
And I'm going to show it.
That's right. Let me tell you, she is beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful
thank you.
long hair, just a beautiful skin, a beautiful soul. You know, her beauty is shining from the inside out. And I have to say that honestly. You are just an amazing woman, truly amazing, a worthy woman. Is there a way that people can reach out to you? Do you want to let us know if someone needs your services, or even if they're interested in volunteering with you please let us know how we can reach out to you.
Yes, you can reach out to me my phone number, or I do have social media. Um, and hopefully one day I'm able to provide, like, have a social media just for volunteer work. That's one of my goals, where, people that most people need help can reach out to me through there. But yeah, you can reach out through my phone number, 714-904-5848. And I have social media, Instagram and Facebook, Angelica Mendoza, and my email is ngq, the letter q, 001 at yahoo.com. You can email me. If you ever know or hear of someone that really, really needs help, call me, text me, email me, reach out to me, because there's there's not enough time in this world for me to help everyone.
Well, I love that. It's been a pleasure, and I think we're gonna go ahead and probably help her set up something so she can help. Maybe call it Angie's Angels.
Oh wow, that is really nice.
That just came to me, but I think that would be great. We just can never volunteer enough. We just can't. And again, it's just as simple as let me help you do something simple, or wishing someone a blessed day.
Or if someone's going through cancer and you know someone is having such a difficult time and they just need to talk to someone, or they read a letter, or a ride to go get chemo, or, reach out to me. I do that. My husband, his work, a lot of women reach out to him because they know my struggle, they know my story, and they reach out to him, and I go to their homes, I lift their spirits, I pray with them, I pray for them, I take them to their doctor visits. Sometimes you just need a person to be there
Mhm.
and to listen to you and to tell you it's going to be okay,
Mhm.
because it will.
I love that. Angelica, you've been a pleasure to interview today. I'm humbled by you here today because you're just so kind, so loving, so giving. And again, I wish you a wonderful and blessed 2023. I think I'm probably going to have you back again to interview because it's been such fun. But again, thank you so much again. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I wish you a very blessed new year for all our listeners. And thank you again, Angelica. It was a pleasure.
The pleasure's mine.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
mine.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
If you're also a women entrepreneur to support our cause and would like to be considered on this podcast, please reach out to us. We would love to connect. We see you. We want to connect, empower, and inspire others. So please call or text or even fax 949-793-8781. Or our Instagram is Worthy Wellness Inc., like INC. Hope to hear from you, and thank you for listening.